Hey, what's up, guys? Sean here. So I had a conversation in a group that I'm part of. It's a group of affiliates for a software that I'm partnered with, and the conversation was actually, as I thought about it, it's applicable in more than just the context of that particular group. There's a much more broad application that's really critical for people to understand. And as I got to thinking about it, it's something that I deal with as I work with business owners on a regular basis, and it's actually a critical mistake that will ultimately be your demise in a lot of your decision-making processes as you either enter into new business opportunities or you look at opportunities to grow your existing business. So I want to talk to you just for a couple of minutes about that conversation and how you can actually get out of that thought process if you find yourself in it, because it will destroy your business. All right, so what's the deadly question that'll destroy the business? What's that deadly thought process? Let me give you some context of what happened in the group, right? So there's a guy who asked a question in the group about whether or not people are making money with the software, right, as affiliates and or resellers. And other than so-and-so, or other than these people, right? Because you can see the clear outliers, and wanted to know, is that an anomaly, or what's the deal here? And that type of thought process will show up in other areas, right? It's not just about a business opportunity. That just happened to be the context here, right? As a marketing agency owner, I talk with business owners every single day, thousands of them a year, right? And I get the question all the time, well, how are other people doing with it? What is the success rate of these types of clients, or these types of clients, or what is their closing percentage, or how are they doing? And my response to them is very similar to how it is, what it was with this guy in this group. And I just simply said, listen, you can't evaluate a business opportunity on what other people are doing, right? Like everybody's going to bring to the table their own skill set, their own set of variables, their own set of expertise, right? Their own style, and all of those variables are going to create very different outcomes, right? And none of those have any reflection of the opportunity itself, right? And I think people get really lost in this idea of, what are other people doing? Because if other people are doing well, then I should do well, right? And it's just not it's not a mentality that I've ever had, right? I've never evaluated, I've never asked a person that I was going to work with how their other clients are doing, or what they're making, or any of that. It's never even come to mind. And sure, finding out reviews, doing some due diligence on the company or whatever, that's fine. But that's different than deciding or determining whether or not it's a viable opportunity based on the results of other people, right? So I think what it does is it inherently shows a lack of self-confidence, a lack of your own ability, right? So I go into anything and everything that I do supremely confident that I'm going to do well, right? Even if it's something that I know nothing about, because I know that I'm going to put the work in to obtain my desired outcome. So everybody's results in this group are independent of one another, and they're all based on a different set of variables. It has nothing to do with whether or not the business is a solid business opportunity, right? And I think it's part of the herd mentality, if you would. People just want to do what other people are doing. And I assume that, listen, there might be 100 people doing this thing or whatever, and they might fall flat on their face, but that certainly doesn't mean I'm going to. What you need to do is evaluate a business opportunity, for this example, by looking at the marketplace, looking at the product, its functionalities, its capabilities, its pricing relative to its competitors, conducting a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, finding a need. How does that fit into what it is that you're doing? What your goals are? Is it in alignment with what your end game is and what you're trying to accomplish? And same thing with, marketing strategies, or lead generation programs, or working with a coach or a trainer. Who cares what the other people are doing with it? It has nothing to do with your results. Your results are your results alone. And you have to be supremely confident in yourself and your own abilities, and the fact that, hey, if I'm going to buy into this, or if I'm going to commit to this, then I'm going to see it through. Because if you commit to something and you don't do what you say you're going to do, you don't do your part, it doesn't matter. I could be making $20,000 a month with something, but that doesn't mean you're going to make $20,000 a month, especially if you're not going to commit to the process of doing what you know needs to be done in order for you to hit your goals. And we somehow think that because somebody else is doing well, then that must mean that we should do well. And I think it's almost, an opportunity for us to get lazy. Oh, well, if everybody's doing well, then it must be easy, so I can be lazy. And if you get into something and a lot of people are struggling, then you might think, well, damn, that's going to be extra work. Despite all the writing on the wall and all the data could show that this is a massive opportunity, but because everybody else seems to be struggling with it, you pass on it. And you've got to stop benchmarking your own success and your own goals against other people. You've got to stop worrying about what the people on your left and your right are doing, what the people in front of you or behind you are doing. You need to be focused on where you're at right now and where you're trying to be. Where is it that you want to get? Stop worrying about everybody else's results. Start worrying about your own results. If you worried about your own results and your own success as much as you worried about what everybody else was doing and how they were doing it, you'd probably be 10 times further ahead than you are currently. Think about that. Don't worry about other people. Figure out what it is that you want, do what you need to do, commit to it, and do what you commit to doing. It's really that simple.